To the Live, Love, Legendary Creatures podcast here on the Old Cranky Man Collectibles YouTube channel. What are you doing? You
It's
just
the lidless eye.
what? Oh, right. Because on this very first episode of this podcast, we are going to talk about Lord of the Rings: Tales of Middle Earth.
Yes, sir.
Specifically,
Lord of the Rings,
specifically cards that we're excited about for Commander, because this is a Commander podcast.
It is.
Before we get into this, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Blake, and I am here with my two friends. And go.
Christ.
Yeah, I'm Stefan. I am another one of the Magic Dads. We brought one of our best friends who also plays Commander with us.
Hi, I'm Cameron. You may have also seen me online as Dot. I have unfortunately been playing Commander for many years now. You probably also see me punt a lot on Canlander streams.
Unfortunately, been playing Commander, but at least you actually play Commander.
Oh my god! I swear to God.
The last time you played a game of Commander, Stefan?
I believe it was against you, actually.
That was a full year ago.
It was a full year ago. All right, so
maybe more than that, actually.
Little look at how the sausage is made here, folks. I got 5 kids at home, and I have about this much time to play Magic right now.
It's true. It's true.
I do love Commander as a format, even if I have very strong opinions about it. I do love having a Commander. I love building around weirdo stuff.
Yeah, it's a time thing, right?
Yeah.
The times that we play Commander are always really awkward for you, so.
Although, I should be able to start going soon, and I look forward to bringing Anya Falconwrath and playing some hot garbage.
Garbage? Bone Miser's a sweet card.
That is a sweet card.
Yeah.
They literally were like, hey, Stefan, what if your Commander is Faithless Looting? And I was like, yeah, sweet. Sick.
That's too much. Okay, so yeah, I mean, let's just jump right into it. You can see the first card that I want to talk about. It's right there on your screen right now. These guys can't see it though, so I'll tell them. It's Aragorn the Uniter. He is white, blue, green, red. He's everything but black. He's a 4-mana 5/5. So he has this text where whenever you cast a spell of one of his colors, you get a trigger. The white one makes a 1/1. The blue one scries 2. The green one gives a creature +4/+4. And the red one deals 3 damage to target opponent.
What happens if a spell is more than one color?
Then you get all the triggers.
Yep.
This is very sweet. Like, you thought Omnath was cool, so I have the 4-color Omnath. What is Omnath? The Locust of Creation.
Yeah.
It's a lands deck. Specifically, it's 69 land Omnath.
Good number.
There are 69 lands in it, 30 cards, and Omnath is the commander. So this card, like, I mean, obviously it's from a way different axis than that. But it, like, you thought Omnath was cool. Wait until you growth spiral while this guy is in play.
Oh my god. You just get all of the triggers.
Just scry 2 and give something +4/+4. There's other things like that build on top of it too. There's that guy, the 3-mana 4/4 that whenever you cast a multicolor spell, he makes a 4/4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rasarok. Commander Rasarick.
Just like anything that can make playing cards better is absurd. Like, Omnath is cool, but this guy's nuts. Imagine casting an Omnath with this guy in play. Give a creature +4/+4, lightning bolt something. Scry 2, also make a 1/1. Plus you get Omnath.
Tribal? Like, everything's multicolored?
I don't know, sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Of course it is.
Like, just
here's a
a
Boros charm. Your cards don't even have to be good anymore. They just have to be a card that's more than one color, because his effect makes them all very good.
This is the beauty of Commander too, right? Like, you can play some sort of heinous cards in your deck. As long as your commander likes them, he's like, oh yeah, good food. Excellent. Delicious.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember when this card got spoiled, and people brought up a old like abundant growth type of enchantment from a Lara block, but
Some
it had a
abundance.
and it had the hybrid vamp. So it's like, yeah, so by casting this abundant growth, you get a 1/1, deal 3 damage, and your creature gets +4/+4.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Sure. This card is
Abundant Growth. Abundant Growth also draws a card.
Yeah, and you can play like what are they the speaking of Alara, those like signposts where you can like bounce a land instead of paying their casting cost.
Border post.
And those are colored artifacts, so you get the triggers from those too.
Yeah.
So good.
You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with this thing. Like I said, your cards don't even have to be good anymore. They just have to be more than one color. You know me, I love a 1 with nothing.
Broken in half.
Okay, Cameron, your turn.
Yes, sir.
So I also had everybody's new favorite creamer staple, Aragorn the Uniter, in my list.
Oh my god.
But I actually want to talk about Sauron the Dark Lord. This is the 6-mana one. So starters 3 blue, black, red for a 7/6. So great, already on rate. Has ward, sacrifice a legendary artifact or legendary creature.
Impossible.
Sure.
I gotta throw my commander in the trash can just to kill your commander.
I think that's totally like that's doable though, right? Like
yeah,
you
okay.
Just put your commander to it
because everybody wants to just let their commander die.
I mean, if you trigger as like sack 2 food with Asmo trigger, sack.
Oh
Asmo
my god. Yes. Well, but wait, there's more.
But wait,
because there's 6 more lines of text on this card.
Yeah. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you amass orcs 1. So you just get a mana gorger as well.
A spell,
and another player. So
yep.
In a multiplayer game,
sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, like in an average multiplayer game, what you get like +5/+5 every turn cycle.
Yeah, something about that.
And it still goes on.
Oh my god!
Whenever an army you control,
there's more.
Whenever an army you control deals combat damage to a player, the ring tempts you.
Which we found out is good now.
Ring tempts you is great.
And so many words.
I keep going.
Wait, there's more.
Whenever the ring tempts you, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 4 cards.
It's nicely a May triggered.
So I like that there is a billion different ways that you can build this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that ward cost makes me want to make him as a Voltron commander. Like just play a whole bunch of equipment and put the equipment on him, and like he's really hard to kill. So have fun.
And make him your ring bearer too, right?
Also, I mean,
not?
You can make it about the ring tempting you,
which is flavorful.
Well, what's cool about the ring tempting you is like a lot of the allies. It says if you choose another creature as your ring bearer, he doesn't care. He wants to be the ring bearer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. That like this is all the other ones are like not me, please, and he's like, hey, how you doing? Right here.
So I'm looking to see if they have the emblem. Doesn't look like Scryfall has the emblem on it yet.
For what the
ring emblem. I don't see it on Scryfall.
It has like 4 steps. It's
I know that.
First it makes them legendary and gives them skulk. The second if they deal damage, their opponent has to like discard a card. I'll look it up.
Yeah. I just wanted to
remember after a while.
I just wanted to get it on the screen.
Oh yeah.
So I have it right here. The first time you choose a ring bearer, it can't be blocked by creatures with greater power, so it gives it skulk.
Yeah.
And then the second one is whenever your ring bearer attacks, you draw a card and then discard a card.
Very good.
The third one is whenever he becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller sacrifices it at the end of combat. And the last one is
that.
Yeah, so don't block me. The last one is whenever the ring bearer deals combat damage to a player, each opponent loses 3 life.
Just bolts your opponent every turn.
I mean,
flavorfully though, if Soren is your ring bearer, he's easy to block because Skulk doesn't matter with giant power. So you can kind of chump him, and the creatures are gonna die at whether like if it's a chump block, they're gonna die anyway. It's so interesting to me that like the more powerful a creature is, the less impactful they are as a ring bearer.
I also like that, like, the amass is just one. So if your opponents just decide to stop playing spells, you can just make your orc amass army your ring bearer,
Oh,
and now you
that's
just have
right.
this one that just gets to free roll attacks.
That's a good
turn.
point.
Yeah.
And the only way out of it is to just start attacking or casting spells again.
Yeah.
And once you hit that 4th level, it's just that's it. Like
Yeah.
that's I like that a lot. Good build around. I like that.
Yeah, you could. There's other ways that you could build it too. So, like, I mean, it's already in the Grixis color, so there's any number of different combo decks that you could build out of him. The best part about that is that whenever the ring tempts you, you get to draw 4 cards. So, like, if you think about a Storm thing where it just empties its hand really quickly, and usually they use something like Adnaz to fill their hand up or have a giant hand. Like, you don't even need that now. You don't even need to pay the life.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah, that's
Adnaz,
true.
you could just keep drawing 4 cards. Like, put a couple of the better things in your deck that make the ring tempt you, and every time you do it, you're just gonna draw 4.
And we did see a cantrip that just said 1 blue mana, draw a card, then the ring tempts you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Which is just so easy.
there's an artifact that says at the beginning of your upkeep, the ring tempts you.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different stuff that says it. But yeah, the it specifically being on that sorcery is like, that's one of the better ways that work with him.
Oh yeah.
I also just want to mention Bludgeon Brawl with this. Just don't care. I'm playing stupid shit anyways.
Oh my god.
I just want to throw it on Sauron. Just turn things sideways now.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
I'm already playing these 8 drops in my deck because I'm probably going to reanimate them. Why not shove it on Sauron?
Yeah. You're a monster.
Make your non-creature. Bludgeon Brawl says non-creature. I was gonna say turn a cityscape leveler into an equipment, but you can't do that.
Oh my god, he just picks everything up.
It's kind of what he does.
Yeah, like in the Battle of Osgiliath, or is that the original battle in Lord of the Rings, Osgiliath, where he's
What original battle?
like the very first battle in the onset. He's like where he loses the ring.
Oh no, that's what do they call that battle? It's like there's no battles in this set.
Who knew?
What?
Who needs battles?
Seems ridiculous.
Yeah, sort of silly.
What's the name of the battle where Sauron loses the One Ring? Siege of Barad-dûr.
Barad-dûr, that's it. Which is interesting because that's like Barad-dûr still exists. They didn't destroy Barad-dûr. It's just got a big eyeball at the top of it now.
So I never. Okay, so I'm a huge Lord of the Rings nerd. I have read these books.
No.
I have read these books like every year since I was 8. And up until I saw the movies, I never actually pictured Barad-dûr with an eyeball on it.
Yeah,
to me,
it's
that
just
was always a metaphor.
Yeah.
And then, like, once you get that image in your head, like, okay, now every time I read the books, I see Elijah Wood,
Yeah.
and it drives me nuts because it just ruins my own imagery of everything.
Yeah, it was sort of like up until then, it was sort of like his eyes were the eyes of the things that were watching for him, and like the Palantirs.
Yes.
Like
yes.
that was how he watched.
Yes,
things.
his servants, he can see out of his servants' eyes.
Yeah. So I have a card that I'd like to talk to you about.
What is it? What is it?
Sort of in the vein of the goofier side of things that I enjoy. Y'all like lords, right?
Sure.
How do you feel about horse lords?
Hell yeah.
Shadowfax, Lord of Horses, show us the meaning of haste. He literally does.
It is one of the biggest flavor wins, honestly.
Yeah. Horses you control have haste. He is also a horse. He gives himself haste. It tells you the meaning of haste. And interestingly, so he's a lord. He is not a lord. He's just a horse. He's legendary horse. But he's, put him this is the only place that you could make a horse deck, I believe. Like, there's no other legendary horses, are there?
Emil.
Oh well,
Yeah.
yeah. But this is the
I
good.
think there's another one too, actually.
And then you just get to put cards from your hands with lesser power to the battlefield. Tap attack. You guys like Winota, right?
Yes.
You guys like to. So, interestingly, there are some really high CMC cards with very low power. That this card gets to cheat out. And
Agent of Treachery.
Correct. So not in this deck, obviously, because it's red-white. But you sort of get to just... we've talked about before how good red and white as a color combination is on just like cheating on mana. Because they let you cheat on mana in board presence. And this is sort of the other way. Like, this is the way that they cheat on board presence. So it comes down, it has haste, it gets to attack, and immediately you're putting a 3 power or less creature.
It's basically sneak attack on a stick.
Yeah. And it's so we sort of seen features like this on. We had the boar god,
Ilharg,
the race boar. But this is the first time we've had additional colors and no restrictions on color identity, only restrictions on power. And I think that's way more interesting because this really incentivizes you. Whether or not you have other horses in the deck is sort of besides the point. Like,
and you're just slamming a Solitude into play every turn.
Exactly. This card is just a 5/3 with haste that lets you slam smaller creatures into play. This card is absolutely rad.
It's a 4/4 actually.
It's a 4/4 for 5 with haste. It's totally playable. Like, obviously not as powerful as some of the other cards that we've seen. It's only an uncommon, which is awesome. I love an uncommon legendary. For anybody that doesn't know, I love Pauper Commander, and having an uncommon
Commander is cool.
Yeah, agreed. And having an uncommon legendary creature lets you just play Pauper Commander.
Let's go.
Yeah. And
so I haven't played that in a long time. Now that there's like a million different uncommon legendary creatures.
Yeah.
Or does it still apply? Like, you can play any uncommon as your commander?
It still can be any uncommon creature.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I do prefer to stay with the spirit of the format, which is that a legendary creature should always lead your deck. And whether or not you're playing Pauper Commander, you should find a legendary. There's so many at uncommon now. Just do it. Don't go for the cheap thing.
Is there a 5-color uncommon legend?
In Alara there is. Not a legend, no.
Well,
so
it's
There's not a 5-color legend in that. There was no uncommon legends until War of the Spark.
So we only have there's only a handful of 3-color uncommon legendary creatures, and they are all from New Capenna.
Get bent. What? I'm still playing the Golem because I want 5 colors.
Oh, listen, go off, King. You do what you want. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. The rules committee does that.
I don't gotta listen to them anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
They told me so.
All right, so second on your list, what do you got, Blake?
I'm still kind of perusing. I really only wanted to talk about Aragorn. I'm kidding.
Oh well.
No, there's it's hard to pick. Like, which one? Like, we could just talk about this forever.
I do love the.
Oh, I know which one.
Oh, go on.
Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen. Go ahead. You can talk about yours.
Oh, so Nazgul is an interesting card. There's always like there's a handful of cards that let you break.
So this is the one that you can play. You can have 9 of them in your deck.
You can have 9 of them. Yeah. So previously we had the 7 dwarves where you can have 7 of them in your deck. They're not very good. And before that we had like Shadowborn Apostle and
there's a rat.
Persistent Petitioners.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah. There's a rat too.
Yeah. There's the Relentless Rat. There's actually 2: Rat Colony and Relentless Rats. And Nazgul is. You can have up to 9 of them, which is extremely flavorful. They have 9 different arts on them. They're just 3 mana, 1/2s with Death Touch, but they also, whenever they come in, the ring tempts you, and then whenever the ring tempts you, they put +1/+1 counters on themselves and other wraiths. So like they buffs them. They immediately enter as a 2/3 with Death Touch. They make all their friends 2/3s with Death Touch. They are also knights. And I know this is silly, but knights are some of the coolest, is one of the coolest tribes
no, for real.
Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was a card in Dominaria that was a black-white legendary knight, like tribal. I can't remember what her name is. Go on.
Hold on. Don't use that phrase.
What?
Tribal. It rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Like there are a whole group of Native American people that have asked the Magic community to stop using that word.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. I'm going to edit this out just for continuity, but you can just say like night deck. There's no reason to even use that word.
Okay.
Carry on.
Excellent. So the cool thing about these is not necessarily just that they're wraiths, they're also knights. And I love knights as a creature type. There is a black and white knight commander from the original Dominaria set that buffs. I can't remember exactly what she does, but she makes knights and buffs knights and can use knights to kill other things. And being limited to 2 colors is sort of right in my wheelhouse.
Remind me. I can see the artwork, Sir.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not one of the sirs.
Yeah, it's from Dominaria, not.
Oh. I can't think of what it's called. I can see the art in my head.
Yeah, she's riding a panther.
A lot.
It's Ariel, Knight of Windgrace. Ariel, Knight of Windgrace. 4 mana, 4/4 with vigilance. She can make 2/2 knights, and then she can just tap those knights to destroy things.
Yeah, very
it's
sweet.
Rad.
Yeah.
So you can just put these knights in, and I love the idea of having like a ton of creatures that are really sick looking, and they're like the black knights are all like sort of monstrous, and the white knights are all sort of like valorous, but they have to work together. Get it done. Figure it out, folks.
Put an actual black knight and an actual white knight in the deck.
Oh, you have to. You have to.
Get that eastern and southern paladin in there.
Eastern paladin and southern. Yeah, all 4 directions of paladin.
Yeah.
Protection from every color.
Okay, so hold on. So the next one that I want to talk about is Smeagol Helpful Guide.
Okay.
This guy seems sick. So it's a 3 mana 4/2, and at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died, the ring tempts you. A creature under your control died, the ring tempts you. Yep. And then whenever the ring tempts you, target opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card, and you put that land card into play tapped under your control. So,
and then the rest go to the graveyard.
Rest go to the graveyard, yeah. So
you're milling them.
You mill them and take the land, yeah. Mm-hmm. What I really, really like about this is it's like a really subtle stacks piece.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a lot of decks that get additional value out of like sacrificing their own creatures or what have you, and like every time they do that, now you get to take a land from them, or what? Well, you only get to do it once a turn. But then, like, there's a number of decks that just don't play lands because they don't have to anymore. And, like, hope your creature doesn't die because your library just goes away.
So there's no limit on how often this happens.
Right? I think it just triggers on the end step.
No, it's whenever the ring tempts you.
It's just
right.
So you could fill your deck with Ring Temptations and trigger this a whole bunch and mill your opponents into the dirt.
Sick!
Dope. All right, we've got 10 minutes apparently.
Yeah, that's what it says. It's fine. We'll just hop out and hop back in.
All right, Cameron, what do you got?
So, my next card I want to talk about is Boromir, Warden of the Tower. 2 and white gets you a 3/3 human soldier. Has vigilance, and whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. And you can sacrifice Boromir to have creature you control gain indestructible, and the ring tempts you.
Wow. You picked a good one. Why did you pick a good card?
This card just has so much
It,
text.
it, it's
It
all
hits
it's all very, very relevant, right?
like
Yeah.
it's so cost efficient. It's like only one white pip.
It's a human.
Like
Every time I
the
read a
human,
card like this, I go, why does it have vigilance?
and like it's another selfless spirit that
Yeah.
just gives you more card advantage.
It's a selfless spirit in the command zone. So, like, like I said, every time I read a card like this, I'm like, why does it have vigilance? Because a 3/3 for 3 with vigilance is already really, really good.
Yeah. And then on top of that, it just like you obviously in Commander you can recur this, so it protects the rest of your board because white is oftentimes like its card advantages in board presence, right? And so protecting that board presence is pretty high priority. And then it just stops.
My favorite white decks are the ones that make one giant thing.
Yeah. Well,
Which he will still protect that.
Yeah. So I don't even know that he needs to be your commander. He seems like just a sick role player inside of any white deck.
Yeah.
Like I've seen a fair amount of like Nadar decks after AFR released, and like those decks can get out of hand real quick just because they're generating card advantage outside of like normal things.
Yeah.
Or like really ways that you can easily interact with.
I'm in my Skrelv deck. Did you know that if you're in the Undercity and you venture into the dungeon, you get to go deeper into the Undercity? That's why he's in there.
This is why I've played Yuan-Ti Malison.
Oh my god!
We don't need to talk about that card because that card's bad.
Yeah. This is also a hit off Winota.
Yeah, like
sure.
It's another hit off Winota. Like the ring tempts you, it just gets you started. It progresses you further.
I know you love Anya Falconwrath, but have you ever considered playing Winota?
I also love Winota. I don't know if you've recognized a theme. A lot of my decks are 2-color powerful women. So
it also just kind of breezed by it, but like the Linvala text of countering a spell if no mana was spent to cast it.
Yeah.
That hurts.
It does, yes.
And it doesn't even say if it's free, if it's just if no mana was spent. So like Hogak is a real thing. The if this thing's out, Hogak can just never get cast.
Like this shuts off Cascade as well.
Oh my god.
It can shut off the copies that technically cast.
So I thought we were talking about Commander, not modern playable cards. This set is notably modern legal. So the reality that some of these are going to see some modern play is sort of well within the realm of reality. All right, Blake.
This gives the modern D&T wannabes a very good push.
I'd say Legacy also could possibly see it as an include. Obviously, Caracas is a bit more, but Modern has sort of needed something in Humans for a while to make it. I don't know if viable is the term, but just to give it a boost.
There's been a resurgence in Modern in the past couple of weeks because of Jarina.
What is Jarina?
She's basically Boromir, but she's 2 mana and she's black-white.
Oh.
You can sacrifice her and make your creatures indestructible.
It's from the Aftermath set.
Yeah.
Or Aftermath
set. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Because so the reason that fell out of favor is because of Fury. Like for like 8 months to a year, Humans was the best deck that you could play in Modern. And then when Fury got printed, it kind of messed the deck up because you could 2 or 3 for 1 them. But Jarina has solved a lot of their problems because you can play it on curve on 2, and then immediately it makes it really complicated for them to try to get you with a Fury. All right, the next card that I want to talk about is Eleanor Gardner. So,
oh my god,
this is lore-wise, this is Samwise Gamgee's daughter.
Oh, is it?
Yes. So she is a 4-mana 2/4. When she enters the battlefield, you get to make a food. And then at the beginning of your end step, if you sacrificed a food this turn, you get to rampant growth.
Oh. This is like all of Sam's family that like cares about food.
Well, hobbits. I think the hobbits in general have a food theme, right?
Yeah.
But Sam's dad is also in the set, the Gaffer,
Mm-hmm.
who draws you a card if you gained 3 life in a
Mhm.
turn, which is the amount of life you gain if you eat food.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take care, if you practice self-care,
Yeah.
he rewards you for that.
Yeah. So I have a Tevish Zot and Tana the Bloodsower
Mm,
tokens deck,
yeah.
and like it needs an effect like this.
Yes.
Yeah, the deck needs an effect like this. So like you can get something out of basically what you're already doing.
And it provides some longevity, right? Like just eating food is a totally reasonable way to like elongate a game.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah. You eat food all the time. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. What's next, Cam?
A little less infinitely playable. This one is Slip on the Ring. 1 away for an instant. Exile target creature you own, then return to the battlefield under your control. The ring tempts you.
That's rad.
Yeah. So if you have a creature like is it Golem, the 1-mana Golem, when he enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you.
Yes, I
think
believe so.
that one's when he leaves, I think.
Yeah, when he leaves the battlefield. The
Okay,
tempts you.
so
But then, like,
you can just cast
go
this
back.
on him, and you get tempted.
Mm.
I believe so. So tempted.
Is there a creature that when they enter? Oh, the ring wraiths.
Yeah.
The
that's right.
The
Yeah,
Nazgul.
yeah.
Okay, so you can just
Yeah.
cast this on a Nazgul, and you get tempted twice.
Yeah. And notably, when they come in, not only do they tempt, like it pumps all the other Nazgul that you have,
Yeah.
all the other wraiths that you have in play too. So like
Yeah.
it's sort of a cool synergy of like there's a lot of cool ETB effects, and this is just it also says it's also one of the only spells that says targets something you own,
Mm.
not control.
Oh, does it say that? So
Yeah.
if your opponent stole your commander, you can
Yep.
flicker your commander and get it back. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a very unique effect. It's sort of rad. And like,
Are there a lot of cards that like flicker effects like this that work that way?
No, most of them have to be stuff that
You control,
either
right?
you own or it returns it under its owner's control.
yeah, it usually says a creature you control, then return it to its
Its owner's control.
Owner's control.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a very unique card in that respect.
Also, just the ring tempts you. Like,
Yeah, that's rad.
it's gonna be like a monarch power type of effect.
Yeah. So when
but, like, it's still gonna be good.
Yeah, when this got spoiled, and we were talking about a Discord, Cody goes, "I wish they made one of these for what is it called? Ugh.
Initiative.
Yeah,
Please no.
he said, "I wish they made one of these for initiative." blink something, you take the initiative.
Oh god.
I mean, I'm gonna be doing this with the initiative, but like, Christ.
Yeah,
that's
so
dumb.
make
Initiative
caves
doesn't need to be better.
make Caves of Chaos of Adventurer your ring bearer. Let's
Oh my
go.
god, it's legendary. You can bounce it back to your hand with
Exactly.
a Caracas.
Let's go. Caracas is
Oh my
banned in
God.
Commander, buddy.
Yes, for a good reason. I'd like to talk about something if I could.
Yes, please. What is it?
Mhm.
So it's not a legendary creature, it is a legendary artifact.
Okay.
It's called the Doors of Durin,
Yeah.
which if you're familiar with what this is, it's basically the entrance to Moria. I have a baby with me. It's just an artifact that says when you attack, you scry 2, then you reveal the top card if it's a creature, you put it into play.
Yes.
Tapped and attacking.
Yes.
It doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. You just get to keep that. And
The card
it's
seems
red-
very, very sweet. Like this is exactly the kind of thing that a red green deck should be doing, and like it's it like wants it to be to be doing. You just scry Galta to the top, and then boop.
Yeah, it's totally reasonable to fill your deck with big creatures. I don't know if you guys have ever played a red green deck. There's a couple big ones in there. And just start muscling them out. And the scry 2 is sort of not irrelevant, right? You get to set up, because it's too deep, you can set up a draw to where a creature is on top and then a land is on bottom, so that your you're guaranteeing your land drops every turn. And that just additional value makes the same insane. I just love it. It's so like thematically, it's like you're opening the doorway. You're speaking friendly, entering.
I think it's also worth noting that it also says until your next turn, it gains trample if you have a dwarf and a hexproof if you have an elf.
Yeah.
And you're a green deck, so you probably have an elf somewhere.
I sort of feel like it's a flavor miss for there not to be a version of Legolas and Gimli that are partners.
So I was kind of thinking that like there should be an entire cycle of the Fellowship that has like you know how the what is it called, the Stranger Things Secret Lair had the Friends Forever thing.
Yeah, right.
There should have just been like Fellowship of the Ring, and it's the same text, but it's called Fellowship of the Ring. They can be partnered as long as both creatures have the Fellowship of the Ring.
Agreed.
And it should just be all 9 characters, like a cycle of them. Like missed opportunity. What the hell?
At least for the commander, like the commander set version.
Yeah.
Like seems like an easy thing they could have
I don't
done.
know. I mean, it's still possible that it's in there. We just haven't seen it yet. But
Yeah, I guess that's true. I just really like all of the different versions of Gimli and Legolas, and I want to jam them all into a deck together.
yeah, I mean, well, Rule 0 is a thing, and you can do whatever you want according to that. So,
I'm gonna make them kiss.
Nick's card. Is it my turn?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, Orcish Bowmaster. I'm surprised that
God.
you guys haven't brought this up yet, honestly. So
We'll do the fun ones.
this is the card, right? This is the card that everybody's like,
Uh-huh.
oh my god, and rightly so. This card is absurd. It's a 2-mana 1/1 with flash. When it enters the battlefield, or whenever an opponent draws a card except for the first one that they draw on each of their draw steps, Orcish Bowmaster deals 1 damage to any target, then amass 1 orcs. To put that into the right context for you, if your opponent controls a Jace the Mind Sculptor and they 0 to Brainstorm and you flash this guy in, you get to kill the Jace and make a 3/3.
Yeah. Yeah, because it triggers on every draw.
Card is nuts.
This is one of them that I think can see play outside of Commander.
How many? Nope. Live, love, legendary creatures. This is a Commander podcast. I'm just
I
kidding.
know. I'm saying like this is good enough to see play. Oh my god.
I'm just kidding. So,
Fine, I guess.
how many times are we going to make a Hull Breacher before we stop making it better?
I think that this.
God.
I
wish we stopped.
Okay, like the problem with Hull Breacher is that it stops your opponents from drawing those cards. But what's worse? Your opponent 3-for-1ing you, or your opponent having a 2/2 and getting some treasure tokens?
I would argue that this is a little less egregious with like Wheel of Fortune.
I don't think so.
You don't think that it's like? I guess you could.
Hold on.
Hang on.
Wheel of Fortune deals 21, and you make a 21 power creature. This is not less egregious than Hull Breacher. Not even close.
It doesn't lock people out of the game like Hull Breacher does.
Are you kidding me?
Not immediately.
Oh
Well,
my god.
Yeah, like it's not an immediate lock, but this still just kills your opponent. And also, haha, 21-21.
Yeah. Very funny.
It's absurd.
So to be clear, it's not 21-21. It would be a 22-22 because it's on enter and on trigger. So even if you're just firing it off at the end of your opponent's turn, you still get the trigger. It's still its floor is 2 power, 2 toughness, and
Deal
and
1
ping at flash speed.
I didn't even realize that. So if you flash it in response to Jace, you Spikefield Hazard them. You make a 3/3 and kill the Jace.
Correct.
Or a 4/4. You make a 4/4.
4/4.
Wow.
I kind of didn't want to talk about this card because I'm just like, wow, this is the best card in the set, not close.
Yeah, I mean,
close.
like
There's another one.
In a vacuum, I think this is the best card in the set. As far as Commander is concerned, the card is insane.
There is another one that I want to talk about. It's called Delighted Halfling.
Shut up.
This card is absolutely fantastic. It's a 1/2 for 1 mana, taps for colorless, or you can tap for any color mana to cast a legendary spell, and it's uncounterable. In Commander, you always have a legendary creature that you want to cast, and you never want it to be countered.
I think you're overvaluing the value of counterspells in Commander.
I don't think that I need
to be clear, you want to play this in Yawgmoth and Modern, and that's why you like it so much.
So yes, it is. I do think it's playable in Yawgmoth and Modern. I think it is also one of the few mana dorks that is playable in Commander. I don't think people should be playing Llanowar Realms or Elvish Mystics or whatever, but this is a 1/2.
Okay, let's go. Hold on, pump the brakes. This guy doesn't play Commander. This guy does not play Commander.
I think if you're going to play it Mana Acceleration, make it either on artifacts or make it on lands. Don't make them squishy.
10 out of 10, I play Deathrite Shaman before I ever even think about putting a Rampant Growth in my deck.
Deathrite Shaman is the same category. It's a 1/2 for 1 with additional abilities.
Okay, Ignoble Hierarch, Noble Hierarch, Birds of Paradise. I put all of those in my deck before I even think about Rampant Growth.
Let's go back really quick. Deathrite Shaman has to be a green and black deck. Ignoble Hierarch has to be at least Jund, and Noble Hierarch has to be at least banned. There are restrictions on the decks that these can go in. This card has no restrictions. It just has to be green, and it makes any color, and it helps you cast your commander.
I only play 5 color decks.
This guy doesn't play commander.
I will agree with Stefan on this, that I also really agree that this is a very powerful card.
Yeah.
Like, it being a 1/2 that is a mana dork is already great. Like, I'm going to have to stare across from this and, like, Canlander and, like, watch a bunch of Modern players just, like, slam this turn 1. I'm just going to be like, I hate that I have to 4-12 this for itself.
Yeah.
As the target, but, like,
it'll take half of a fury, half of a full fury's damage. I talked to Luke. Hadn't heard of this card before when I talked to him about it. God. And the more I talked, he's like, I don't know. Oh, it's a 1/2. Oh, that's absurd. Like immediately he was sold. He's like, yeah, okay, very good, excellent.
Let's just want a mana of any color, like, sure.
Well, I think the deck was. We're going off on a side here, but you know, I like this better than Birds of Paradise in a lot of decks. But I think if you're running Birds of Paradise, you're probably also just running this, right? I think the mana fixing on this is just really good. We always it always helps to cast your commander faster, and it helps to have the colors that you need to cast it. And if you're playing in a commander deck like I play, which is very few search effects, like I run a lot of basics. I run as few search effects as possible. I need a little help with my mana sometimes. And I think this card just seems fun. Like, it's a delighted halfling. What a great person to have at the party. So good. Just a happy friend.
I do also appreciate that it's a halfling that's a 1/2.
Oh, yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that. That's funny.
We have seen, like, on one hand, you can probably count the amount of 1/2s in this set that are halflings.
Yep. And how many human tokens are 1/1s that are physically smaller than halflings?
So many.
That's so funny.
Like, I think the entire red-white theme is, like, make tokens and go sideways.
Yeah.
And, like, you just have to stare at the halflings while they're making food. They have a larger toughness than you.
Yeah, stout.
Yeah, they're burly.
And, like, it's just, like, cool.
Guess
like, I have to watch my opponent just have a merry time while I just die from, like, life gain and card advantage.
That's the best kind of commander game, though. Like, your opponent, you're, like, trying to get them dead, and they're just like, I'm going to eat some food, man. I don't know what you're doing. I'm trying to enjoy myself here.
Like, I can't wait for the Bilbo decks that, like, one where you have to activate something if you have 111 life. Like, oh yeah,
what
that's
a theme.
cool.
That is probably all right. So going off of that, Bilbo Baggins. This is my favorite commander. I'm glad you cut to it. This is my favorite commander in the set. It is my favorite color combination. It is Abzan.
So the card we're talking about is Bilbo Birthday Celebrant.
Yeah.
He's on the screen now.
Yeah. This card is super fun. It's super funny. I don't know that you're ever going to activate this without, like, some sort of absurdity. And I'm all about that absurdity. Like I want that thing where I'm just like gaining life, and everybody watches it happen slowly with a horrified look on their face as I'm just like filling my body more and more, more and more with food. This card is so good and so funny. It's everything I want to be doing in like in a commander deck.
So, have you seen anything as far as the spoilers are concerned that you just hate?
Can I talk about equipment?
Oh, go for it.
Barrow Blade. 1 mana for an
Mhm.
equipment. Equip 1. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 whenever this equipped creature blocks or becomes blocked by a creature. That creature loses all abilities.
Oh, it kills True Name Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stop! Leave my son alone.
Very good.
God, why?
It's
So
very
good.
good.
This is an uncommon.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be seeing a fair bit of this in like drafts as well.
Yes.
I'm just kind of terrified of this card.
It's so cheap. It's 1 mana.
It's cheap. It's so efficient. It buffs your creature by 1 on both sides.
Yeah, we thought Bone Splitter was good.
And it dress downs a creature that blocks it.
Huh.
And like,
yeah, I guess that is like, it seems very unassuming. Like a lot of the times when I see an uncommon equipment, I don't even read it because I just assume that it's just some draft card. But it seems pretty good actually.
There's a lot of good uncommons in this set, like just very good uncommons.
I have a card that I absolutely hate.
Go for it.
So this is Sharky, Tyrant of the Shire. So lore-wise, this is Saruman's alias.
Yeah,
he is the landlord of the hobbits. And oh my god, this card nails the flavors of being a landlord so well, and I just want to punch it in the face. If anybody ever plays one of these against me, I'm gonna reach across the table and rip it in half.
You just have to spite it immediately.
So it's a 4-mana 2/4, and it says activated abilities of lands your opponents control can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So you can't crack fetch lands, you can't wasteland people.
It just turns off all the fun.
But wait, there's more. Sharky, Tyrant of the Shire, has all the activated abilities of lands your opponents control except mana abilities. So you can sacrifice this guy to go find a land. He can turn into a fetch land. He can turn into a wasteland. He can turn into a Volrath stronghold.
That's...
You can pay 3 mana to remove an ice counter from him.
No,
he can maze it with people.
Not only does he turn parts of your deck off, but now they get to do it back to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's so stupid. Like,
that's hateful.
They made it that way on purpose because everybody hates landlords. But but wait, there's more.
Oh my god.
Mana of any type can be spent to activate Sharky's abilities. So you don't even need to have red mana to activate your opponent's Shivan Gorge. You can just shock something for 5.
How does this work with something like Faceless Haven? Like if he can animate himself.
Yeah, but snow mana is not color.
Yeah,
I thought it's of any type.
Mana of any type. Yeah, it doesn't say color. So yes, you can use 3. You can use 3 generic mana to turn him into a shapeshifter.
Very funny. That's honestly a little bit.
I hate it so much. Get him out of here.
There's a card that I don't like, and it's very specific. This card is called The One Ring.
Oh, come on, man.
No, there's a reason I don't like it. It's a very good card. 4 mana legendary artifact. It's indestructible. When you cast it, gives you protection for anything, and then it has this ability to like pump resources into it, pump life into it to get resources out of it eventually, right? It doesn't tempt you. The ring doesn't tempt you. It is the ring, and the ring doesn't tempt you. Like the temptation doesn't come from the ring, it comes from inside. It was inside you the whole time.
Yes. Anybody can be tempted by the ring, but the ring itself can actually kill you.
I do wish there was a way you could donate this to. Like, functionally, you could put a bunch of counters on it and hand it off to a person.
Hey, here, this is yours.
Yeah.
But you would never do that, though.
It
If
would
it
be
was
very-
true, if it was truly the One Ring, you would never give it to somebody.
But all right, so what if instead of at the beginning of your upkeep losing one life, you could also just immediately do it to hand it off to somebody? Oh my gosh.
Well, I think talking about the One Ring is a good way to end this episode. So there are so many sweet cards in this set, and we want to hear in the comment section down below which cards you are excited about. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel.
Yes,
Make sure you
please.
turn notifications on so that we get to annoy you every time we upload a video. Thanks for listening to the Thanks for listening to the Live Love Legendary Creatures podcast. From all of us, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Kiss, kiss.